Hi there, this is Amy. Oh my gosh, so much to share. I have just had quite the 3 months. That's all I can say. A lot of astrological time has passed, and Earth time has passed, and I've been to a couple of funerals and experienced a little. I fell and cracked my head and had to have 4 staples in my head. I feel kind of like a badass. I'm not sure how that actually happened because it's almost like I knew it was going to happen and I apparently could not seem to avoid it. So I have no idea what the gifts of that are, but I always assume there is a gift, even if I haven't discovered it yet. But I've had, I don't know, I've wanted to share this information, but I just have been getting around to it. A lot of times I hesitate to share some of it because I'm worried about the feedback. I'm sure at some point I was probably burned at the stake for sharing information or being kind to animals or giving somebody herbal tea. So I have a little bit of PTS, past life trauma, past life situation drama, maybe. Anyway, so when it comes to kind of religious context or even, sharing things that people are passionate about from the other side, and man, does there feel like there's so much friction. I don't care what group I'm in on Facebook, the polarities are very present. And what's fascinating is usually both sides are a little bit true, but that bridge between harmony is not often found. So I've actually removed myself from a lot of groups, which is nice. The more I remove myself from groups, the clearer I get to be about my world. And the things other people are arguing about aren't really part of my world. So not only do I quit reading it, I just either disassociate or remove myself completely. Because anything I need, that I need in my reality, I just get it, or ask for guidance around it, or just, I don't know. It's a little bit about being present in my town, in my community, in my home, in my car, and cleaning the things up that I have control of. A lot of the stuff out on Facebook feels like arguments that are easy to have, I guess, right, because they talk about social media being the distance between people. You can just say whatever you want on Facebook and there's no repercussions. Or, but like I'm trying to bring it on home, back to my heart, back to my own home, back to my community, back to my family, like the people I can make a real physical impact on. So there's been a lot of that for me over the last couple of years. Anyway, let's get to the good stuff. I went to a funeral a couple of months ago, and it was a pretty big funeral, several hundred people. And sitting there with my heathen types of beliefs, I think. I'm just joking a little bit, but kind of true in some people's eyes. Again, amongst 500 people, probably at least, and I'm just sitting there minding my own business, and it's a Baptist church, and I see energy. I don't know if I've shared that before, but I see orbs, and I see colors. I see a lot of colors and geometries and shapes, and I've honestly been working really hard to learn how to do this because I love it. It helps me realize there's more than the 3D world going on. Now there is both. I can't get lost in all of that magic because I am still on Earth. I do still have to pay bills. I do need to feed myself. Like, all of these 3D things are actually very real. So it's building the bridge between these two worlds that's been, I think, part of my show. And so I'm here at this funeral, seeing this energy, and I'm not surprised. There's several hundred people. I'm in a church. Of course, what am I going to see? But light beings or angels or fairies or demons or who knows what. High frequencies and low frequencies. They're all frequencies of the creator. And so anyway, so I'm sitting there trying to I ask in my brain telepathically, hey, what's going on? How can I help? And come to find out, the being that's connecting with me is it's the funeral that I'm at. And, I'm kind of questioning this because, just like anything, I'm doing my research. I dig in. I've been wanting to talk to dead people for a long time because, cool, the fact that you can connect with a spirit that's been here, even in other situations that I've been in. A lot of times if someone was abusive and they passed on, they want to make peace with the person that they abused. They see, oh my gosh, how their actions affected them, and they want to bring peace not only to themselves but to the person that they victimized. And that's a whole nother conversation about being victimized, because I do believe we can be victims of something. I don't think that we need to continue that path. I don't love to stay in victim mentality, and you must deal with the trauma that comes around being a victim of something. But it doesn't mean you have to remain there. So again, that's a whole nother video. But anyway, back to the funeral. I'm here, I'm talking to this cat in my head, of course, not out loud because people already think I'm crazy. And I'm asking questions. I'm just like, oh, hey, why are you not doing your life review? Because I know how this works. And he said that it's because you get to come to your funeral. I'm like, well, yeah, that actually makes sense. And then I ask, why are you talking to me? And he said, because your light is on. He's like, I talk to dead people, light is on, and I know you can communicate with me, and that makes me really happy. And I'm like, oh, great. And then he was very honest and shared that when he was in his vessel, in his human form, he didn't really pay that much attention to me. But now that he sees that I'm open to this kind of thing in the spirit realm, it makes him view me a little differently. So of course I start trying to ask him things. Can I know this? Can I know that? And he, which is also not unusual because I've been told this before, he's not allowed to tell me things, because I do believe that there are guides and guardians who monitor what is shared, especially with specific people, and they don't want you to know everything. They want to know things that can guide you, but there's things to be discovered and learned. And basically that's what he said, that there are some things specifically that are meant to be revealed and not discovered and not revealed too soon. And I'm like, again, that sounds great. And that he also mentioned that anyone that was at this funeral, as long as they remember him, can kind of connect with him, and they may not realize they're doing it, but if they need help with something and they think, what would this, so, they feel his vibe, he can influence their decisions in a way. Now, again, this is one of the things that obviously you're not giving your power away to this being when you're making your own choices. I know a lot of people, I think, are afraid of the spirit realm because of that. They're like, what if they ask me to do something bad? I'm like, well, don't do something bad. Don't do something that would hurt someone else. You take control of your life. The same way if a stranger walked up to you and asked you to steal something, you would not do it. Or you might. Heck, I don't know. Maybe you need to. I don't know. Anyway, my point is you don't give your power away if you're always checking in with your own heart, your own higher authority to make decisions. And your free will is there, but are you choosing your free will consciously or unconsciously? It's all part of the journey. So anyway, I'm here, I'm at this church, I'm listening to this cat, feeling like and he was kind of a funny guy. So I'm kind of smiling a little bit, wondering if people are thinking, again, that I'm laughing at this funeral. And I'm not, but anyway, it was a wonderful conversation, and the preacher is, of course, talking about Jesus, and I have my own relationship with Jesus, so I am a bit of both, right? I do believe in Jesus, and I believe Jesus is an important teacher, but I don't really hold the same truth that he is the way. Because first of all, I think that'd be just a long line if that's the only way to be redeemed, to get to your God self, because also that just feels very much like a false idol kind of situation. I know many have different beliefs that Jesus is God at the same thing, but I think Jesus was a very pure aspect of God in this particular incarnation, on this planet at this time. I actually know Jesus as Spaceship Jesus. I know him more as Sananda, as like a future representation of this Christ consciousness being. Anyway, that's a whole another video. Man, I have so many videos. So, I always check in when I'm listening to a preacher tell his sermon, or do, just to see if it feels in alignment for me. Does it feel right in my heart what he's saying? And in this particular case, I could see Jesus walking forward, and like all these people were following him, and he turned around, he kept looking behind him. He's like, why are you guys following me? And he would like kept turning around. He's like, no, that's not what I meant. I did not mean for you to follow me as a God-like being. I meant for you to follow my ways, follow my teachings, to no judgment. And now, don't judge yourself, don't judge another, but kindness, but like in community, and being there for each other, and love, and self-healing. And he was such an example. But I really get put off sometimes by this in my heart about Jesus being, it almost becomes like another version of a cult. And they bypass God in that way. They just go straight to Jesus. And when you do that, you give power to a man and not to the creator of all things. So as long as you're going all the way up, I'm happy. And obviously do what you want. Like, you're here to learn something, and that's cool. Like, but I'm just sharing my version of this story, and what feels right to me is going all the way up to the top. Don't even stop at Jesus. I remember one of my kiddos, when she was little, she verbalized this so clearly. She was like, Jesus is like a principal of a school, and there's a bunch of principals of the school, but there's only one superintendent. And that is beautiful. So we don't all have to go the one way. There's so many ways to get to the superintendent, and that's beautiful. And when you look at it like that, that feels so much better, because now I don't have to convince anybody to believe in my principle. All I have to do is, I don't even have to convince people to believe in anything, really. But it just, I hope to leave empowerment and trust in your own process, and trust in everybody else's process. So it relieves me of having to save someone. It relieves you of having to save someone. And that's something also that, I go back and forth with, because I've found so much peace and harmony. It's hard not to want to share that. And so I like to leave it out. That's why I like doing these videos, because if you find it and it's helpful, great. If you find me and we have a discussion and it's helpful, great. But I don't have to seek you. I don't have to seek someone to save. And man, have I been doing that with my mom. I've been doing that with relationships. I've been doing that with kids. I've been doing that with just so many people, where I feel like it's my job. And it's not. You are a divine being. You are here experiencing something unique for your soul. And I am here experiencing something unique for my soul. And as long as we're just following the impulses of our own experience, it's all good. And even if we're not, still learning something. So I have a medium friend who connects with people in spirit. And so I had a session with her after this visitation that I had with my friend. And I wanted to confirm a few things. Another is his passing. From my understanding, he was unvaccinated and he passed from COVID. I don't know if there were other complications, but I was also curious about his passing and the intention of it. So speaking to him in spirit form with the inside scoop in a way was very exciting to me. And so we talked with my friend, and she did share that he was around, and that yes, my conversation was accurate. And he said that his soul wanted this experience. He wanted to leave with things unprepared. And COVID offered this opportunity, because most people, when you really think about it, like, we can't just all die of natural causes. we have to find exits. And if we just all started dropping dead, that would be a little weird. And I do not mean to remove all the emotions from death. Death is so sacred. It's such a unique experience. And if something happened to the people that I care deeply about, I would have every emotion that's that's possible around that. But I would not judge the exit, would not judge the form of how the exit came. And that's the difference. I would still be devastated. I'd be sad. I'd be depressed. I would be all of those things. And I would still hold my frequency of love going through it. We can be both unconditional loving and have all these human emotions. So his sharing was that it had nothing to do with his children. It had nothing to do with his wife or the people who he loved or cared about. It had everything to do with what his soul chose to experience and wanted to learn in its own evolution. And we don't own each other, and we can walk with each other. I think Ram Dass is the first person I remember saying we're just walking each other home. And I love that so much. And so like we have this amount of time that we have with each other, whether it's 60 seconds, whether it's 60 days, 60 months, 60 years. And it's so convoluted, but also so simple. I mean, I'm getting there, but it's taken me 7-8 years of healing, actively healing, and trying to call in all of this awareness that if we need to like have a little bit more fun and a little bit more grace. I also asked my friend, or this person in spirit, I'm like, how can I be there? You know, like, can I share some of this with your wife? And he said, no, she's too indoctrinated in her beliefs. She won't really be able to hear you. And he said, but you can just love her. And I'm like, and that's brilliant advice. So it doesn't matter whether she believes what I believe. It doesn't matter whether this conversation is real or not. The messages are sound and beautiful, and they bring peace and clarity, and that's all I care about. I am a huge proponent of like, I don't care how you get there, just get there. And what I mean is get to this place of peace in your heart. The emotions will fluctuate, and if you hold the peace and allow the emotions to move through you, it's just you can have more fun with the experience. And I guess that's all I really want for myself. It's all I hope to share for anyone else, is to find that place of homeostasis where you can be grounded in trust and allowing in the emotions and hold a deep feeling of safety and peace, and it's all working out. So anyway, my client's here, so I gotta go in. I love you guys. I hope this has been helpful for someone. Please, if you want to have an open discussion with any of this, I am game. Okay, peace, bye, love you all the ways.